everyone, welcome back. Fall might seem like the time in the garden when everything's starting to wind down. However, now is the most important time to start doing things in your garden to prepare it for spring. What you do in the next coming months will determine the success of your garden for its future. So today I'm going to walk you through the 5 things you'll need to know about gardening this fall, and we're going to leave a bonus tip for you at the end that a lot of people get wrong. So let's get into it. So the first tip on our list is to mulch like you mean it. A fresh layer of mulch does a lot of things for your garden from early fall through spring, especially with the crazy weather swings that we get and temperature changes. It helps retain soil moisture so that your plants don't dry freeze in the winter and helps protect the roots all the way through until spring. And on top of it all, it just looks good. It enhances your curb appeal. We have many different varieties, everything from red shredded mulch to your classic brown, black, and then your typical pine bark mulch. We have many options here at the nursery to help your house look the best it can. One important note with mulch is to not create a mulch volcano and pile your mulch too closely to the base of the plant. When it comes to trees and perennials and shrubs, you want to make sure that you have a few inches around the base of the plant. So if this is the base of your plant, you want to make sure you're measuring around a couple inches so that you're not piling mulch directly up to it. Piling mulch too closely to the base of your plant can cause diseases, and it can lead to pests and other issues down the line. So when you're mulching, make sure to leave a few inches so that water can still get into your plant and keep it healthy through the spring. Tip number 2, this is your last call to fertilize before the winter. You don't want to fertilize too late into the season because your plants want to go to sleep in winter. They need time for their roots to establish and for them to get a proper rest before they re-emerge and awaken in spring. You want to choose a root booster fertilizer before winter to give them the last boost that their roots need to really establish before they're going into dormancy for the winter. So you want to think about it this way. Spring and summer is about fertilizing for the top to grow. Fall fertilizing, you want to think about more of the roots in the base, establishing themselves to have a strong winter until next spring. Tip number 3, you want to do a full plant checkup before you go into the next season. Walk your garden and inspect your plants as if it's their yearly checkup with their doctor. You want to check for powdery mildew, any disease. You want to make sure you're looking at all the leaves of your plants and assess whether you need any sprays before you go into the next season. Remove debris into the proper garbage disposal. You don't want to use it in compost because then it can lead to issues in your soil later. So if you see anything wrong, you want to deal with it in the proper way, whether that's spraying them or just removing the leaves into the garbage. You want to make sure your garden gets off to a good start for fall without any disease, pests, or anything that could harm your garden the next season. Tip number 4, and this one surprises a lot of people. You want to plant now for a better spring. Right now it's August, so you want to start thinking about your fall garden and what that's going to look like. The more you plan now, the less you'll have to do later. Fall is the perfect time to plant because soil temperatures are cooler, there's less risk of pests and diseases, and there's typically more rainfall. Don't wait until it's too late. Get out in the garden and get started planting today. And tip number 5, you want to start planning for the wildlife that's about to come into your garden. As cooler seasons are approaching, deer are going to be out browsing more and more. Now is the time to explore deer-resistant options for plants and start protecting the ones that you have. You want to check out the blog with the link in our bio to get as many tips as possible to help protect your garden through the winter, whether that's using different products that we have or planting more deer-resistant plants around your landscape. However, it's not all about keeping wildlife out. We can't forget about the birds. Birds have a much harder time in winter finding food when sources are scarce, so you want to consider planting plants like hollies and other berry plants to give them more options throughout the winter. And we've made it to our bonus tip. Don't forget, your plants still need water from fall through winter. Spring and summer are not the only seasons that you need to water your garden during. It's almost more important during the winter to make sure that your plants are well hydrated. Although it may sound backwards, you want to make sure that your plants are well hydrated into winter, especially before a hard freeze. Your plant's roots are much more vulnerable to winter damage when they dry freeze as opposed to if they get a nice layer of ice over them to protect them. So make sure you keep watering through the fall, and if you need tips for how to properly water your garden, make sure to check out our YouTube video, How to Properly Water Your Plants. So that's it. That's our top tips for fall planting. You want to make sure that you're mulching your garden, that you're giving it the last final fertilization, that you're checking for any pests or diseases, get your plants in the ground now, and prepare for wildlife coming into the next season. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and let us know what you're going to plant this fall in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.